Hello and welcome to this special coverage celebrating Eid AlFitr. We would like to wish you all a blessed and happy Eid as the Kingdom of Bahrain is joining the Islamic world celebrations marking the end of the holy fasting month of Ramadan. Eid AlFitr is a time where families spend time together and exchange gifts and worship. The Arabic word Eid indicates something that returns and is repeated. While Muslims celebrate, they cannot but remember Eid as a symbol of thanksgiving and joy to Allah the Almighty for giving them the chance and strength to carry out the moral, spiritual and physical test during the month of Ramadan. Today, we are joined by several guests who will speak about their contributions to the society in celebrating Eid, as well as their activities throughout the holy month of Ramadan. But after this short break. The corporate social responsibility in Bahrain goes further than simply serving customers with required services. Involvement in the welfare of the families in the Bahraini community is of utmost importance for many banks and companies, including the National Bank of Bahrain. Since National Bank of Bahrain's establishment in January 1957, the bank has strived to remain at the heart of the community. Several decades on, its commitment to supporting the kingdom's social welfare and contributing to the betterment of the lives of its citizens continues undiminished beyond the banking and financial services that they provide. In line with the bank's donations and contributions policy, each year NBB allocates 5% of the bank's net annual profit in support of the social endeavors. These include programs and foundations which are aimed at promoting social welfare, healthcare and education. To talk more about that, we are pleased to be joined here at the studio by the Head of Corporate Communications at National Bank of Bahrain, Mr. Hisham AbuAlFateh. But first, this foreign insights about their work.
أبطالنا الصغار في محاربة مرض السرطان سألناهم شنو حلمك لما تكبر؟
أطفال.
كافو.
دكتورة. تخصص أشعة العظام.
صح.
الرشيش. الحريق.
ونقول لك صار طال عمرك. بالتعاون مع الدفاع المدني اليوم يا جعفر راح تكون رجل أطفال. وبالتعاون مع وزارة الصحة اليوم يا ماريا راح تكوني لنا دكتورة. وشبة النار بطلنا جعفر في الطريق لأنه هو اللي راح يطفيها. بس قبل لا تطفي خلنا نروح حق دكتورة ماريا. بس لحظة وين المريض؟ طفاش وجسوم أول اثنين من المرضى.
السلام عليكم. انت دكتورة ماريا صح؟
دكتورة ماريا
ما شاء الله تبارك الله.
ووصل مريض ثالث، بس قبل لا نعرف من هالمريض خلنا نشوف جعفر شلون طفى الحريق. حياك دكتورة ماريا في انتظارك يا أحمد الشريف.
دكتورة ماريا موجودة؟ كل مرة أجي هني يقول لي مشغولة. أخذتي مشغولة مع بلي؟
جبنا احنا ثلاثتك يا عم.
جعفر وماريا أبطالنا، وكل البحرين معاكم في حربكم ضد السرطان، وبإمكاننا كلنا نكون أقرب لجميع أبطال البحرين.
Welcome back, and with us now in the studio is Mr. Hisham. We wish you a very happy and blessed Eid.
Thank you very much, Lana.
Hisham, MBB is committed to the fact that business needs to be developed in a socially responsible manner by encompassing every individual of the community. Tell us more about that and those principles of social responsibility that you have.
I mean, the National Bank of Bahrain is not only committed to that, what you said is absolutely right. When you look at the National Bank of Bahrain and you look at what the brand beholds, first of all, we say that our brand promise, which is very obvious from the video that was just mentioned or the other videos that we've kind of launched during the past year and a half or 2 years, it says that we are getting closer to you. So we are closer to you. Now that's our brand promise. Now, our brand purpose, which is the sole purpose for our existence, is enriching the lives of generations. And it's very obvious what that actually means. Now, when you enrich the lives of generations, it's a continuation of something that was done during the past. We were just not bold enough to come out and say it. Now that we've said it, we are leading by example. And that's the main aspect of what this, or what these initiatives are all about. It is fantastic to feel the community that we serve. It is amazing to be part of something bigger than what the bank actually is. It's Bahrain.
Indeed.
And it's what Bahrain has to offer. It is very heartwarming to be associated with corporate social responsibility or the donations and contributions fund that you had mentioned in your report, which is 5% of the bank's annual profits. And that is something that the bank has also been a pioneer in. I mean, since the 1980s, or since I think it was 1980 or 1981, that the bank went ahead and suggested that. Now, the great thing about it, it was suggested from the shareholders themselves. So the feeling, the humanity, the leading by example was right out there from the start of of how this all started. So, or from the outset where it all had started. So, right now with us, when we look at how and when we choose what to associate with, because at the end of the day, it's brand association to get brand recognition. It's, if you've noticed, it is anything regarding, so what MBB would donate or contribute to comes from I'm not saying rigid, but I'm saying a very studied policy, solid policy, which is that it's anything to do with healthcare and healthcare programs and initiatives, from establishing and building centers like the ones we already have, or the new hospitals that we're building, to conferences, exhibitions, seminars and workshops that, again, enrich the lives of generations. Or get closer to the community. Education, again, from building schools to suggesting programs, conferences, exhibitions, taking part in activities that are of mentorship, for example, which is something that we're going to be launching very soon, or that we've launched the initiatives of just last week. So that's education. Again, anything that enriches the lives of generations. Then we go to social activities and social welfare, as we call them, which is very obvious from what we've done this Ramadan, supporting children with cancer. Yes, some might say medical, but the needs of what we were supporting the two societies were not medical, were actually part of the getting them better socially, enabling them from a social perspective, having an impact on their healthcare in the end. So social welfare for us is quite important. There are multiple of organizations that benefit annually from MBB's contributions or donations towards them. Then it is, the third part is anything related to financial technology, things that major exhibitions and seminars or workshops or events that put Bahrain on the map, such as the Euromoney conference, such as Spring of Culture, and those things that actually not only put Bahrain on the map, but make Bahrain maintain its hub leading position in the different aspects of the different domains that it's likes to. And then it comes to the others, which is anything that we see could be a spur of a moment or an amazing initiative or a heartwarming initiative. So all in all, put that together, from a business perspective, from a CSR perspective, it's enriching the lives of generations, getting closer to people.
Okay, that's really amazing. I want to talk more about the video that we've watched earlier. How did it start, the idea, and please walk us through the shooting and everything. It's really amazing.
Okay, I'll tell you interesting stories. First of all, I need to mention what I'm going to say in bold italics and underline, as we say. It wasn't the bank's choice as an institution to choose these institutions or choose the direction of the CSR initiatives in Ramadan, because we've done two. We've done one with Smile Society that was launched at the beginning, and then on the 22nd or the 23rd of Ramadan, we've launched the Dream Society initiative, and both are for children with cancer. 24 people one almost from each and every department, sat together in a committee, jointly discussed, sat with most of the agencies, discussed, and they came up with a recommendation to the bank and then to the donations contributions.
Because I'm sure there
committee
are
to the board.
lots of associations and organizations.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
So the amazing opportunity, I'm getting goosebumps as I'm remembering all the discussions that were happening, all the agencies that came to pitch, all the different societies that were kind of involved, and it was an amazing process to see the people of MBB suggest and recommend, and it wasn't forced at all.
Yeah.
So it was the people of MBB, these 24 people, myself included, that actually who made this happen for the organization, which is quite important. And you've seen, I mean, just to take it a step further, the Ghabga in Ramadan, as you might have seen during the past day or two, was dedicated for donations and contributions.
Yeah.
And again, it's the people of MBB.
Yeah.
So it started by, as I said, we formed ourselves, and the marketing department, marketing communications department requested let's say a gladiator from each and every department. Everybody volunteered. Everybody wanted to step forward because it was a noble cause at the end of the day. And again, we sat through hours and hours and dedicated days to come up with what the concept should be, what the pillar of our policies, what pillar should we go for. So that's where we tied up the healthcare and social welfare together. And what you see is, is a fruit of a well thought of product. Now, the two societies where we joined hands with were amazed, because we didn't tell them right when it was just an idea. So we told them when we kind of picked them. So I still remember that call that was made at 8:25 p.m. at night to Sabah Zayani from the Smile Society. And he was like, huh? I said, yes, Sabah, this is Hisham, I'm calling you on behalf of MBB. We have just gotten an approval. He said, approval for?
Yeah.
He had no clue what we were talking about. And I said, well, it's an approval to...
And that's important, because you wouldn't want them to get their hopes up and then...
Absolutely. I mean, managing expectations is quite important.
Yeah.
And again, looking at all the societies in Bahrain, they all do what nobody else can do.
Exactly.
Honestly, the effort that is exerted by each and every one who's working or volunteers in those societies is amazing. Is really, I mean, hats off. I salute all their initiatives. So I still remember, I gave him that call and he says, Hisham, what are you talking about? Approval for what? We didn't even submit a proposal. I said, no, well, we're doing our Ramadan CSR with you. He said, what Ramadan CSR? So he's taken by surprise. And then when I told him, there was this long moment of silence that seemed hours. And I had to say, Sabah, are you there? Hello? And he says, I don't know what to say. I mean, you just made our day, because we were thinking of how to collaborate on a professional level with an institution such as MBB. And he said, Hisham, I'm actually working on a presentation to come to you and to other institutions. And I said, well, just, you could stop. You can breathe now. It's fine. It's happening. And then when it was the second call that was made a day after, with Dream Society, I still remember I picked up the phone, called Eman, and I said, Eman, this is what we want to do. And she said, and I think Eman is going to be part of this episode anyway, so you could take her through that, or probably take her side of the story. But again, it was, wow. One question that Eman asked, and she said, but why? Why are you doing this with us? I mean, why are you supporting us proactively, and why? I said, well, do you have any doubts in the organization? She said, no, absolutely not. But it's the first time that we get such a proactive, well thought of call that takes us through everything. I said, well, we want to support you because of your initiatives. We want to support the kids because it's very important. And we want to allow you the opportunity to actually have professional content for you to use to lure in other kind of such initiatives in the future. And here we go.
Okay, that's really great. So MBB has ongoing commitment to get closer to its staff, their family members, and the Bahraini community, especially during the national and social occasions, including the two Eids. So how do you value such keen interests, and what are the aspired outcomes from them?
Well, I mean, since we are in the Eid days, this is also news. Usually on the third day of Eid, we go and visit the elderly, and we launched in the last week of Ramadan a proactive kind of volunteer kind of ad internally to say, well, who of you would like to celebrate Eid with the elderly?
Oh, that's
It's
really
the MBB
amazing.
Elderly Home. So
Okay.
again, this is a ritual that we've been doing. So we go to two places. We go to the MBB Elderly Home and we go to the MBB Center for Rehabilitation and Mental Disorders. That
Okay.
actually happens in Isa Town. They're both in Isa Town, so we do them. Trust me, we have to mention the word first come, first serve basis because it actually, we get floods and floods.
I'm
Then
sure.
we thought, you know, it's not even fair to say first come, first serve. So out of all the hundreds that apply, we actually raffle and we
Okay.
choose. But we make sure that every time whoever is chosen this time, you know, doesn't get chosen the next
year.
time, just to give a bit more.
Yeah.
So many of these activities, the social committee of the bank leads many of these initiatives as well. So we go and, you know, dedicate runs. They actually go and do a garage sale to get the proceeds to help. I mean, and again, we have MBB is blessed with having an amazing social committee internally. And they make the world so beautiful for us. They make work such a pleasure to walk into every day. Why? Because they produce not only content, but they help us. They help put a smile when you have that tedious, you know, those tedious tasks and those sometimes difficult days where you have to meet short deadlines and everything. Here they are knocking your doors and coming with a, you know, thank you note or a ice cream day or just allowing us to take part in, you know, in activities that are beyond what we usually could comprehend on a daily basis.
Yeah. Wow. The belief in knowledge sharing is one
Yes.
of the key principles of MBB. Tell us more about that.
Well, I mean, our initiatives are very keen or demonstrate all that. We have recently launched the mentorship program. And for us, that is not only important, but that's crucial. Because if we want to enrich the lives of generations by getting closer to people and give people what they want, when they want, whenever they need it, for us, mentorship is very important. So we launched a mentorship initiative with Bahrain FinTech Bay.
Okay.
There is another initiative that we will launch very soon, nationwide, and then many programs of such will be launched. Now, also, internship has been something that you know, made MBB where it is today, because we intern a lot of people, fresh graduates. We not only share knowledge, but we involve them in our daily work. These are, I'm not talking about internships of 1 or 2 months just to get the paper signed and go back to university. I'm talking about people, I'm talking about almost 100 people who have interned and who have been employed
Wow.
then, just because they saw the benefit of what a dynamic organization is, and they've been part of the real world.
Yeah.
So many of these initiatives, we sit on panels, we sit on we get interviewed by international and regional publications. I believe that we have a team that no other institution in Bahrain has, and I would, okay, it's my right to say, to brag and say that, but I believe it is very true, from the amount of requests that we get, from the amount of requests that we get from media, from the number of requests that we get from different organizations who are, you know, siding on getting panel speakers or keynote speakers. And I'm not talking only about CEO level or C-suite level. I'm talking about the whole institution has housed such amazing talent that is not only being developed, it's developed, nurtured, but put out there. And it is, we have a belief, Sara, it is not MBB that makes the people, it's the people who make MBB. And that is something very crucial for us.
Yeah, that's a very nice motto there.
Exactly.
So, Hisham, modern technology and social media, tell us how MBB benefit from that.
Well, it puts us on the edge, right? It puts us on our toes, and
Yeah.
it did. I mean, 2 years ago, we didn't have any existence on the digital marketing, world. I would
Okay.
say. Today we do. Yes, we've launched some baby steps 2 years ago. Today they are increasing as we go. Organic followership and different initiatives. But what's coming for MBB is bigger. I mean, I would just give you an example. If you've ever visited our new Seaf Mall branch, that by itself is
I
a
heard about it
statement.
actually. Didn't visit, but I did hear about it.
Exactly. I mean, that's a very bold statement of where we are heading.
Yeah.
Now, not only in terms of look and feel and screens, let's not differentiate beautiful LED screens with actual content and services
effectiveness.
that you could actually use them to do. And that is coming by sort of mid-August to September, October, November, December. I am one head of corporate communications who is looking forward to do our 2019 annual report, because I think it will be a book full of accomplishments. And that, for me, as head of corporate comms, is going to be a very, very entertaining book to produce. So, going back to your question, when it comes to digital marketing, social media, we're there.
Yeah.
Are we fully there yet? No. Are we on the right track of being there? Absolutely. What do we have to offer? I think people are going to be delightfully surprised.
Okay, that's nice. That's a nice future expectation for us. Going back to the social responsibility, I want to know, how do you assess the success of those initiatives that you work on?
I mean, the fact that I'm sitting with you right now and showing that video is evidence of its success. But again, it's very difficult. I mean, if you want to take success as in, you know, the number of likes that you got or the number of followers that have increased on your social media, or, I mean, fine, that's science and that's available. But I genuinely believe that when you launch something and it comes back to you, so, and it circulates around in such an amazing, buzzing manner, and it comes back to you, whether on your, you know, whether on your mobile or word of mouth, that is success. The tangibility, a lot of people might say, well, Hisham, what you're talking about is very subjective. We'd like some science, we'd like some figures. This was, at the end of the day, a campaign to you know, to gain funds or to raise funds. I said, fantastic, that's great. Yes, it is. But let's not forget, who's doing it? It's MBB.
Yeah.
And why did we do it? Because we believe in what we were doing. So for me, that is success. When the pride from within the people who not only see it, but are part of it, reaches, you know, climaxes to an unbelievable precedent. 700 MBB employees were proud to see such initiatives in Ramadan.
I'm sure.
700. And pride is not something that is easily forced. It is earned.
Yeah.
So when you have those 700 proud employees going out there and acting as ambassadors, I think that is success, because success starts from within the institution before outside.
Yeah. Well, you got me emotional. So, Hisham, I'm going to end with a question asking you about the future of community partnership. We've talked about the future of MBB as a technology-wise, but now if you can give us any exclusive statement about the future of MBB regarding community partnership.
Well, I knew that question was coming. We're working on a few projects. Unfortunately, I can't give any statements because they're yet to get some, you know, formal approvals from within the institution. Again, MBB being a public institution and governed by the Central Bank of Bahrain, we've got to be careful what we commit to and what we recommend right in the first place. But I think I am confident the year is going to end on a very high note for MBB. I am very confident. The year is going to end on a very high note for MBB because of the there are a multitude of initiatives that are going to be launched probably from September till end of November.
Okay.
Relating to education, probably healthcare, digital ambiences, developments, youth, and probably also, you know, the national aspect, coming National Day.
Yeah.
So, as I said, put all those together. For me, and for every MBB employee, year 2019, we've made the world of difference.
Well, thank you very much, Hisham. It's been a great honor to have you here in our show, and we do wish MBB all the success in any future plans you have.
Thank you very much and much appreciated. كل عام وانتم بخير.
وانتم بخير.
إنها البحرين تزخر بالهمم قادها المنصور مصباح القيم قادها نحو العلا في فترة بقياس الوقت مرت كالسهم إنها البحرين تزخر بالهمم قادها المنصور مصباح القيم قادها نحو العلا في فترة بقياس الوقت مرت كالسهم وابشري أبي ملك همه الخير العمام إنها البحرين تزخر بالهمم قادها المنصور مصباح القيم قادها نحو العلا في فترة بقياس الوقت مرت كالسهام إنها البحرين تزخر بالهمم قادها المنصور مصباح القيم قادها نحو العلا في فترة بقياس الوقت مرت كالسهم إنها البحرين تزخر بالهمم قادها المنصور مصباح القيم قادها نحو العلا في فترة بقياس الوقت مرت كالسهم إنها البحرين تزخر بالهمم إنها البحرين قادها المنصور مصباح القيم قادها نحو العلا في فترة بقياس الوقت مرت كالسهم
Welcome back. The 3 days of Eid AlFitr are days of happiness, joy, and prosperity for all people, and especially young ones. Many civil institutions in Bahrain have the keen interest to ensure that all children in the kingdom are celebrating and enjoying the days of Eid, especially those who have special dreams that should become true. Today, we are pleased to be joined by the board chairperson of Dream Society, Ms. Eman Nooruddin, to talk more about the society's noble goals and remarkable achievements. But first, let's watch this for more.
A dream is a wish your heart makes.
We decided that we wanted to do something to do with kids.
We tried to find a way to help them, to help children's dream come true. And we just kind of came up with an idea of dreams, and we thought we would help terminally children.
And when we sat together and decided this is what we wanted to do, we all were very, very passionate about the cause.
We make sure to make their dream come true.
Size doesn't really matter. What matters is content. So if the kid's dream is small but very significant for him, we make it happen. If the kid's dream is very big, we also try to make sure that we cover as much of it as we can, just to make sure that the memory lives on with the kid and the family, and it has an impact on the overall happiness of the child.
We don't just put a smile on their faces, but also their parents, their friends, and their surroundings.
It wasn't an easy process, and we are very proud of where we are today. The society has grown tremendously from around 7 years ago. We can see it not just with the number of dreams that we have achieved, but even the number of members, of people following us on social media, and people asking us and actually just stopping us around Bahrain, just asking us what happened to so-and-so.
We have two major events. The fundraising event would be our Ramadan Ghabga. It's one of the main events of the year. People just are looking forward to it. We do it once a year in Ramadan, and the main aim is to raise funds. We have another event which is like we call the carnival, or the fun event, where we invite all the parents and the children and their friends and their family, and just make the day about fun and enjoyment.
Done an amazing job, I think, as a team and as a community in terms of raising funds. We've partnered up with some wonderful companies. Our individual donors have done an amazing job in terms of providing us with the funds that we need to make sure that we get to as many kids as we can, and to make sure that each one of those kids gets as big a dream as he can think of.
One of the dreams that stood out was Abbas. He was 5 years old. His dream was to be Spider-Man. And it was one of the dreams that stood out because we involved everyone. Everyone in Bahrain came forward to be a volunteer, and we managed to turn Abbas into Spider-Man for the day. And we turned him into a hero.
It feels great, actually, because it's so selfless, and it helps you make a difference in the community, especially these extremely innocent children.
And you end up having a bond with a child that you'll never forget.
It really gives you this satisfying feeling that you actually made a difference in their lives.
Rewarding yet sad at the same time. It keeps you in touch with reality. It keeps you in touch with pain that other people might be going through, and it just feels good that you are able to put a smile on their face.
Welcome back, and with us now in the studio is Miss Eman. Hi, welcome to the show with us, and happy Eid.
Happy Eid to you too.
So Eman, tell us more about the goals and values behind the establishment of the Dream Society in 2011.
So basically what we decided to do is we wanted to do a charity like Make-A-Wish Foundation. But what we wanted is we wanted to have our own stamp on it. So not only do we help kids and make the dreams of kids with the terminal illness come true, but we also included kids with debilitating diseases, because they too have to, they spend their lives in the hospital. And then another thing that we added is we do monthly events for the kids to keep it more of a family. So that once we make the dream come true, the kid doesn't go away. They're always a part of our lives. Yeah, they're always a part of our lives. Yeah.
So the society is organized and run by a group of Bahraini youth who actually dedicate their time in doing this noble goal. Tell us more about the members and the founders.
So when we founded Dream Society, we made sure that we had people with different backgrounds. So we had Latifa, who's a lawyer. Then we have Hiba and Hala, Dr. Hiba and Dr. Hala, who are both doctors. And then we have Hussein Qasir and Sara AbuAlFateh that came from a finance background. So each and every single one of us had an expertise, and we put our expertise together to make this happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's really nice. And so all the founders are still active members?
They're active members, but they're not all in the board.
I'm sure, because I'm sure it takes a lot of your time and
a huge amount of time, yes.
So tell us about your projects, some of your recent projects and maybe future ones.
Yeah, so we have a cute one coming up. So we just presented 2 days ago a dream to a kid that wants to be a cowboy.
Okay.
And so we took them to the Bahraini cowboys. And so he was on the horse and they taught him tricks and everything. And then at the end we surprised him that he's going to go to Texas and be a real cowboy there. So he was very excited. So he's very excited. So that's a cute one that is coming up now. And then we have another kid who's in love with Lego. So we're taking him to the Lego store here, and he's going to think that this is it. And then again, we're going to surprise him and take him to Legoland, inshallah.
Oh, wow, inshallah. That's amazing. But Eman, when you do such initiatives, if the kids are ill, what things do you have to keep in mind? Like, are they okay to travel? Do you have to get parent consent?
It takes a village.
I'm sure it's not easy.
So it all depends. So what we try to do is we try to never say no to the kid, and we try to go way beyond what he dreams of. And because the reality is the hope that we give them is more than anything. So it helps their treatment and it helps their parents and everything. So we get doctors, nurses, parents. Consent-wise, the doctors have to give us consent, 100%. We cannot do anything without. Everything we do, we have their doctor's consent. But sometimes we do end up having to, especially if it's a travel dream, where we have to call the other side, make sure that there are doctors to pick them up from the airplane and everything. So we have an MOU with the Make-A-Wish Foundation International, because they understand what we're doing, and so they help us with the logistics on the other side if there's a travel dream. And in Bahrain, we always have a group of doctors coming with us to events and everything to make sure that everything is safe for the kids.
Okay, and what about parents? Like, did you ever, did you ever have a situation when a parent would not allow the kid to listen?
We've had that situation. I think parents are...
Because parents tend to worry more than anyone else.
Yeah, and not only that, I think with parents, and of course they'll do this, I'm a mom myself, I'll be doing the same exact thing. The treatment of the kid comes as a priority. And then to try to fit this in becomes a little bit tricky sometimes. And then, so it's just communication between the parents and the doctors and us together, and we do make it happen, but that's very rare.
Okay.
That's very, very rare.
Sure. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah. Alhamdulillah.
So tell me, how do you contribute, the Dream Society contribute in Eid AlFitr and Eids in general?
Yeah, so what we do in Ramadan, we do the 30 dreams in 30 days. And then in Eid, we celebrate our 30 days of dreams. So about every day in Ramadan, we do a dream or two.
Okay.
And so we make it a goal to complete 30 dreams within the month of Ramadan.
Okay.
So this is why it's so easy for me to come up with dreams.
And how do you do that? I mean, what's the procedure of like how many kids do you have? How do you choose the dreams?
So
if people want to contribute, how do they do that?
Okay, so basically our Instagram is a perfect place to go to check up what dreams are there. We always put out what dreams we have, and we are more than happy, and we encourage people to come and help us.
Okay.
Money-wise and also with their time, because trying to get these dreams done takes a lot of logistics and takes a lot of time. So it sounds easy and quick, but then the amount of work that goes behind the scene is very, very big. So that's where the Instagram comes. But most of our procedures we have is it has to go through a medical committee. So by the time we get approval that we can do this dream, it's already went through a lot of
So you have to start before Ramadan, actually.
Yes, because we have the interviews of the kids, and then after we get the interviews, we have the dreams. It has to go to the medical committee. They have to approve it. Then it goes to the doctors. They have to approve it and everything. And then it comes back to us with the restrictions of what we can do, and then we can work on them.
Okay.
Yeah.
يعطيكم العافية. Iman, how do you value the people who are volunteering for this? How do you value such a feeling that they give to the kids?
It's invaluable. The thing is, I think it becomes addictive. The minute you come, and I've seen this, the minute someone comes and helps, first they're scared to help in a dream. At the beginning, they're not sure if they're doing it right, they're not doing it right, what are they supposed to say, you know, and I think it's bigger in our minds than the reality of it. And then when they come and they see the smile on the kid and how happy he is, it's contagious. You can't wait to do the next one. And you become a kid again, because you're playing with Mickey Mouse, you're playing with Pokemons, you're trying to find out what they love, and you start being a kid yourself. It's fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how do you value the support that you get from the private sector or the government sector in Bahrain towards the voluntary work in the kingdom?
We can't thank them enough, because without them we were not able to do the dreams that we do. Because unfortunately, unlike a lot of the other charities in Bahrain, our charity is time is a constraint. We do get phone calls from the doctors that says you have only 2 weeks, you have only 1 week. So we don't have the luxury of time to plan the year. Sometimes we have many dreams, sometimes we don't have as many dreams. And sometimes because doctors postpone dreams, and you could be planning a dream and it's supposed to happen today, you get the phone call, it has to stop. And then you have all these sponsors and the government and all these trying to help us with the logistics, being very understanding and saying, okay, need to postpone it to another day. We'll go over, we'll do it again. And then supporting us to make sure that we are sustainable and that we are able to do the work that we do. So we're very, very, very blessed to have the support of the private sector and also the government.
Good, that's great news. So Eman, tell us about, you've worked recently, you've had a collaboration with the National Bank of Bahrain.
Yes.
Talk to us about that.
So basically, they actually approached us. They approached us and they said, we want to collaborate with you this Ramadan. We want to do something. What can we do? And we started talking a bit, and then we came up with the idea of doing the video. Mostly it was their idea of doing the video, and then taking people through the interview process. So you see a little bit of the interview process that we do to get to understand the kids and who they are and their personality, and then up to the point of making that dream come true. So to see, and you saw, these two kids were just random kids. They like give us two kids, and two kids that we haven't interviewed yet. We gave them the names and we did the interviews together. And the thing is, they now want to do more of these dreams. And even the ministry has called me up, like, we want to do more dreams, we want to help. Like I told you, and that's the fun thing about what we do, because it's all about having fun. Although the subject is a little bit sad, but at the end, it's fun.
It's happy sad.
It's fun. It's so much. It's so worth it.
So what is, in your opinion, what's the importance of spreading such awareness, whether it's in normal voluntary work or helping the sick children?
Awareness is huge, and to be honest, it was a place where we have been lacking because we were too busy a little bit more in trying to make the dreams come true. Awareness is huge because without awareness, we won't get support. And when people get to know about us, when people talk about us, when people share the video that MBB did, for instance, and they get to know who we are, and they just go on their Instagram, sometimes it just takes a phone call. Because of all the logistics that goes behind the scene, sometimes getting paperwork is what's making us, delaying us. And what we don't want is, we don't want a kid not to get their dream come true before it's time. And when we've had this where I've written something on Instagram and I get a phone call saying done, I'm like, really? Like, done. And so that just makes our life so much easier.
So what are, I mean, you've talked about some challenges, which is paperwork and time. Are there more challenges that you face in fulfilling those dreams?
I think being creative, it's not really a challenge. I think it's the fun part of being it, but putting yourself in the kid's point of view. Like, I remember once I interviewed a kid who he said he wanted Fariq al-Najd, and I went into Saudi. I talked to so many people and everything, and then I gave up. I called all my guy friends, my husband. I'm like, just find what is this team that he wants.
And what was
it? Turned out to be Captain Majid. And that's the team that he wanted to meet. So again, going through all of that, figuring out, trying to, it's fun.
Putting yourself in their shoes.
Exactly, but then understanding keeping up with what's going on.
Okay. And so in Ramadan, you've done the 30 days, 30 dreams.
Yes.
And you've had also, I think, an initiative of Gargaon with also GIB, I think.
GIB does an annual Gargaon for the kids, and every year they invite all the kids and they have a huge celebration, and we're very grateful for that. And it's all fun and games, and so it becomes one of our events, and it's a good way to get all of our new kids from Ramadan to be involved with all of our older kids, and then the parents find support. Because what happens, the parents then have WhatsApp groups, they create WhatsApp groups, they support each other, and
they benefit from each other's experiences.
Yes, exactly.
Well, that's amazing. I want to end by your future plans for Dream Society. Is there anything coming up, or whether big or small?
Making dreams come true, so it doesn't stop in Ramadan. We're continuing doing it all year round. It's just Ramadan we have a number, but all year round we keep doing events. We keep doing the dreams, and anyone that can help us out, it would be fantastic.
Well, so we keep an eye on your Instagram, and
yes,
that is
definitely Dream Society.
Dream Society.
Yeah,
okay.
as simple as that.
Okay. Well, we wish you very best of luck. Thank you very much for being here
Thank you so
today.
much. Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you. So we are sure that the noble efforts of the society will continue their constant growth and ensure drawing smiles on the faces of all children in the kingdom. And that is all for today. Thank you so much for watching, and we wish you a happy and blessed Eid. Goodbye.